You're down 1-0 with 15 minutes to go. What's the point in sitting with your back four, your regular midfield and 2 strikers? What's the point in it? The risk is shove people in the box because the other team react to that. You shove 3 and 4 in the box, get the ball in there. That's the risk because you can lose the breakaway, the counter-attack quite easily. And we lost games that way. I remember, I think it was Newcastle, Ollie Gruner got sent off with bringing the player down the last kick of the ball. But the value is, you score in the last minute or injury time. Remember the dressing room? It was electric, absolute electric. The fans are going home, they can't wait to get to the pub to talk about. They can't wait to go home and tell their wife and their kids what it was like at Old Trafford to score in the last minute. That's the value. There's no point in flapping about in the midfield with a few passes and no taking the risk of getting the ball in the box. Because you're not going to score for 40 yards. And if you're playing for our club, that risk should always be there.
All right. Welcome back to Irish Red Devils podcast. The nostalgia is there. Hands up, boys. How many of you know this song? Hands up. Yeah. What a time. What a time to be a United fan back then. Well, listen. I love that song by Status Quo. Was that an FA Cup game? Cup?
Yeah.
Did that in?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, listen, we're here and we are live in the studio as always with my co-hosts Gags, Madman, Martial, and Killian, the football genius. And this is a very special mid-season show. And like I said, I was saying to the boys off air, there's a lot of doom and gloom around the club at the moment, but not here tonight. Not with this fine bunch of fellas that you see on the screen, hopefully remotely joining us tonight, coming from all parts of the world. I will get you all introduced in a few minutes here, lads. But I appreciate you coming on tonight. So, obviously, what's happening? We all know what's happening at Old Trafford. We've got a new regime, and tonight I want us to focus on the future, boys. Beautiful future. Anybody know what that movie's from? No. That's a quote. No, Penguins of Madagascar. Okay, nobody's got young kids in. All right. Listen, first of all, I want to go. We've got a good few guys in the room. I want to go around everybody and just get you to introduce yourselves here. What I'm going to look you to do is give me your name, where you're contacting us from here tonight, guys. Your favorite United moment in your lifetime, and your favorite United player in your lifetime. All right. So who's going to? Well, let's we'll kick it off here. We'll go to just the top of my list, which is Michael. Michael. Where are you?
I just sent you.
There you go. There you go. Michael.
My name is Michael, and I'm from Dublin. Favorite United moment was I managed to scrounge a ticket for the FA Cup final, '96 against Liverpool, and just unreal. Cantona scored, like just when James kind of punched the ball out from, it was all kind of slow motion. I could see himself kind of taking a step back, leaning over the ball to make sure he didn't balloon. And I said, this is banging the back of the net. So that was my favorite United moment.
And favorite United player in your lifetime?
Yeah, I'd have to be Rude. Probably the most the most naturally gifted striker I think I've ever seen. He could get the ball with his back to goal, and in 10 seconds he's running down the other end of the pitch. He's after literally swiveling on a 50-cent piece and banging to the top corner. So he has to definitely be favourite player.
Cool. On then to Jeff. Where's Jeff at?
Hey guys, Jeff. I'm over here in the U.S. I'm in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Favorite United moment is, I've been a supporter for close to 40 years, but it's only been a few years ago that I was able to actually see a game live in Old Trafford. And for me, that was my favorite moment, to walk in and come out of the stand and see the pitch with my own eyes for the first time after 30 years or so. I literally broke into tears and started crying. I've been back.
Was this after the game or before the game?
No, before the game. We actually won that one. It was against Bournemouth, so I didn't have to cry. But you know, I've been back a few times since, and I'm in a place where I'm going every season now. But like that first moment, just to walk out after watching it through the internet, through the television, any way I could see Manchester United, just to see it with my own eyes and be there. That's my favorite. Easy to point to the Champions League final, but no, walking out and being there the first time is my favorite moment. Favorite player, David Beckham. Um, I started following United around 87, was doing it like as much as I could from 3,000 miles away. So more or less from, TV clips when I could get the game or just following the scores. And as the internet came along in the 90s, I started to have more and more access. And, that was at the time where we were in our prime and Beckham was one of the, he was the star. And he's been my favorite player ever since.
Cool. Right, we're moving on then to Darren. Where's Darren at?
That's me. There he goes. Bit of man flu on me, so excuse me. Favorite moment, I'll go with 99. I'm old enough to remember that. A few of the lads here. 16 at the time. Cried at the 1990 World Cup, but I'm never crying for that 99.
It's a bad line there. Just I wonder, are you in a?
Yeah.
It's it's very hard to hear you.
Can you hear me at all?
Yeah,
that's a bit better there now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, because I don't know, I'm talking a bit close this time.
Aye. Just to restart that because we'll start. Yeah. We'll just go back to Darren then. So Darren, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, sorry, I'm Darren. I'm living in Dublin, but I'm from Meath. Just have to get that clear because I have a bit of a Dublin accent on me. Your favourite moment, I'd say, is 99.
Yeah.
The one at Barcelona against Bayern. I was just 16 at the time. I think it was the first time I probably cried at a football game properly.
A lot of crying going on.
It was just brilliant. I'd say the favourite player, I know the easy answer is probably Roy Keane, but I'd go Ryan Giggs. I'm a left foot myself, so I always have that bit of loyalty for the left foot.
Good man.
So,
Good man. All right, now we're going to southwest, I think. Deck McDonough.
Deck McDonough. I'm living down here in Kerry. I will stress I'm not a Kerry man. I'm Waterford. My favourite United moment, I'm old enough that I've seen the Ron Atkinson era, the Fergie era, everything since. So I've been to Fergie's last game. I was at Fergie's last supporters club conference. I've been at a lot of matches, but my favourite moment was 2023. Won a competition with Tezos, and I got to play in Old Trafford. 30 minutes aside, Andy Cole, Ronnie Johnson were the managers. Down to the home dressing room, gear laid out for us. Big team talk from the lads. Alan Keegan led us out onto the pitch, did the stadium announcement, and I made my Old Trafford debut at 50 and thought I was 20, ran around kicking everyone I could. Scored a goal into the Stratford end, went for dinner and drinks with and Andy and Ronnie. Then Wes Brown came in to visit us, and I won a competition there 2 weeks ago, and I got to meet. I got a nighttime tour of Old Trafford, the 4-4 game against Bournemouth, and a private VIP meet and greet with Ryan Giggs. But my favourite player of all time, there's only one, a leader.
Right. I tell you what, that's a hard one to follow up on.
Can I, just before we move on, what competitions are you doing? Can anybody else enter these competitions?
Yeah, everyone can. The Tezos one was on Discord, so that was a VIP match day experience. And the other one I follow Hotel Football. The trick of it is every year United get new sponsors. So follow those sponsors on every platform and just hit everything. And I got lucky twice. That's just the way you do it. Enter everything.
That's an interesting insight there. Hopefully we can steal a few of those awards from you over the next one.
And don't enter anything because I want to keep winning.
Yeah, it's a wee bit late now. You've told us.
I know, yeah. I've given away
Sorry,
my
it's not like anybody else is in the room here, and nobody else is ever going to listen to this anyway,
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so who we got left there? David, I think, is the last one. to call upon? Where's David?
What?
You there, David?
He's out there.
Uh,
Oh yeah,
no.
sorry, I can't see. There's something there obstructing me. Like, so David, yeah, where are you about?
Hi, I'm David. I'm from Galway. My favourite moment of my 9 career will be probably the 1999 Champions
It's very
League
hard to
final.
hear you, David.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better there. Yeah,
Better, yeah.
yeah. Where are you calling? Where are you coming from?
Galway.
Galway.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Down
And what was
west.
your favorite moment there?
The Champions League 1999. I was 13 years of age and I was at home watching it. And I let a big row and Ollie scored the winner. I ran out of the house screaming out the road. I went mad, absolutely mad.
And your favorite player?
Favorite player probably be Dennis Aaron, I say.
Very nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
nice.
What about in the studio, lads? Killian? Well, obviously we know you're from Armagh. All Armagh men here.
Yeah, obviously from Armagh, of course. Favorite moment probably being at Old Trafford for United 3 Atalanta 2, seeing Ronaldo complete the comeback. That was one of the best days of my life. Champions League night, seeing Ronaldo play, seeing him score the winner. Unbelievable. Definitely my favourite United game and favourite United moments. Favourite United player there from what I've seen. I mean, I could easily say one of the older players, but I'm younger. I never got to see them play, so it would almost feel wrong. But from the players I've seen play, I'd probably go for Bruno Fernandes because, he's been consistent year after year. And, yeah, very creative player, very good player to watch most of the time as well. So, yeah, I've loved Bruno ever since he joined the club, and so he's probably my favourite player I've seen player for United.
Cool. Gags?
Yeah, well, you kind of stole my thunder a wee bit. Obviously, favourite United moment, I've kind of would have two. One of them, obviously, Champions League final. I was also guilty of running out of the house in my student house in Belfast and screaming, going up and down Stromulus Road like nobody about, going nuts. And then,
Was that during a United game or was that just general?
I was just every Wednesday night. And then, but for being there, it was going to say the same as Killian. Champions League, Ronaldo would return for a second stint. Us and a group of neighbours and all went over. Great seats. 2-0 down at half time. Typical United old school comeback. Harry Maguire, Marcus Rashford, and then Ronaldo with the winner. And it's just more, just with the experience that and with your kids and all. And it was just the atmosphere coming out of Old Trafford that day, that night was unbelievable. The atmosphere was just incredible. So yeah, they're my moments. Favorite player, it's hard to look past Keane. It's hard to look past Keane. I always, when I was younger, I always liked just like a random one. I always liked Lee Sharp. I always liked Sharpie. But Roy Keane, he's the main man. He's the main man.
Oh,
He's the main man.
somebody, we're getting feedback there from somebody's.
I've a funny one for the two boys they're mentioning the Atlanta game.
Hold on.
that-
Sorry, Dick. Just hold on one second. We're getting feedback there.
Just hold on one second.
Oh.
We're getting feedback there.
Are you getting?
I'm hearing it.
You're
Is
hearing
this
it?
coming
Yeah.
from-
No, I was hearing it too,
Is it coming from a phone?
Has someone got?
Someone
got-
got.
It shouldn't be because it's not live.
I know it's not right.
Oh no, but if it's coming through a phone.
Let me see.
Nigel.
Darn. Have you?
Yeah.
There's a wee echo cancellation thing on because I'm hearing me every time I talk.
Bluetooth earphones because that's why the sound wasn't great.
Oh.
No, I turned them off, so I don't know if I sound better or worse.
No, well now there's an echo.
There's an echo.
Right. Well, I'll leave and I'll come back in.
Aye, do that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sound.
We lost Jeff as well. Jeff seems to be.
No,
Someone
Jeff is
in.
here.
Oh, Jeff, sir.
That's the
I have,
it's deck.
I have there's a black screen with connecting.
There's two.
Oh no, there's
Over.
two chefs.
We have two Jeffs. Jesus Christ, my worst nightmare.
Jeff, there's Jeff. He's back.
Fucking hell. After scaring
Double
the shit out of me.
Double jeopardy.
We'll give him a couple of minutes there to get back in. That must
But
have been what happened.
I was just saying to the two boys at the Atlanta game, that was the last game I ever got to go with my dad before he passed. And
Jeez.
we were behind the Stretford end when Ronaldo scored the goal. And the ball got kicked into us. I have the match ball from that thing, and
Get
there's a
lost.
photo with.
No
I-
way,
I was-
man.
Jesus.
I'll send you on the photo.
Brilliant.
Me, Dad, and the match ball.
Wow.
Dated.
Brilliant.
They have the two teams on it, and unfortunately, that was the last ever game I got to go with Dad. But special night that night.
Very special.
Seeing Ronaldo scored the winner.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. That's
Brilliant.
brilliant.
You know, you're meant to throw the ball back onto the pitch now.
No, I said it. I said it to the steward. The steward goes to me. He goes, "Stick it inside your jacket. Say nothing."
Exactly.
Fair play to him.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
that's
He was-
exactly what stewards
Lads,
should
he
be
came.
saying.
He came into
Lads,
the
he's a
crowd
carry
with
man,
us,
and you're asking the carry
celebrating.
man to throw that ball back.
There we go.
What's worse is the policeman didn't throw it back. Okay.
That's why we can afford players.
Well,
We
there
can
seems
afford
to be
players because you're nicking balls.
Yeah.
there seems to be Darren. That's I don't hear anyone. Is anyone else hearing echo now?
No, I think
No.
that's as bad.
No, it's all
Yeah,
good
now
now.
it's all good now.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah,
Sorry
yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
Okay, good. Okay,
I'm
cool.
going to have to drop out now, lads, because I have to go there. But come here, I'll jump on for another one again soon. Okay.
100%.
No worries, Nick. All right,
coming
Okay,
on.
listen, thanks for coming on. Glad we
No
got you.
worries. If one of you send me a message, I'll send you on that picture with the match ball.
Brilliant.
Will do.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cheers, boys.
No
Cheers,
worries.
Declan.
Jack,
I think we're going to have to get the guards to look in the deck because there's far too many coincidences there
Still
of him
fucking
getting
this man
things.
He's winning competitions.
I'm-
the match ball.
Ronaldo just happened to hit the ball directly at him as well, you know.
He's
Sounds
one
like
of
he's the
them.
right person to know.
he's
right,
one
okay.
of the guards.
He's one. I know he is. Yeah. So that's for you.
Membership has its privileges.
Okay, let's see now. Am I
I
still
think
hearing
mine
an echo?
is no.
All right. Hopefully there's no echo here. It will be a nightmare to fix if we have.
No,
Tell
it's
you
all
what I'm
good.
gonna do. Hit record. There we go. All right. Okay. So we're going to get into it. And let's get into solution mode here, guys. So let me just bring up I'm going to bring up our questionnaires here for tonight. What was it? The debate questions. There we go. All right. Okay. Can you all see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
17 games, one target. Is Champions League football realistic or mandatory right now, as with 17 games to go in the Premier League season? Absolutely nothing else to take our focus away from it. Unfortunately, no cup competitions. Who wants to kick us off here? Somebody?
I don't mind.
Gags? Right, we'll go. Gags, we'll go with you. And then who was this? Who said first there? The remote there? Who was it shouting up?
I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, we'll go with you then first, Gags. You can hold courses.
Yeah.
All right.
No worries.
All right. Let me get this 60-second timer up. Once you hear the air horn, that's your time. There you go.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think Champions League football, it's kind of, while it is feasible, is it possible? And I think the whole mandatory thing is, is it a that's a kind of Jason Wilcox kind of statement, kind of putting pressure on Carrick kind of straight away, the way he was kind of putting pressure on Ruben Amorim, and then he forced Amorim to come out in front of the cameras and say, no, I'm just a head coach now. That's it. So, yeah, it's definitely feasible because we're 4 points off the Champions League spot. And while, Jeff made a point earlier on, there's loads of teams around us in the same position. I think United are just, we're 3 or 4 games away, like a run of 3 or 4 games away from, I think, hitting the top 4. But there's no momentum. There's absolutely no momentum at the club at the moment. So I think that's the problem.
All right. Oh, did any of you hear that?
Yeah.
That horn didn't play, did it? Oh,
Whoa.
Hold on. I have the sound down on my side, so I didn't even know it was there. Right. Okay. Very good. Gags, we'll move to you there because I know you were itching to get going. So here, let me get up this 60-second timer again. Away you go.
Yeah, is Champions League this season mandatory? I would have said it was more, again, I don't really like the word mandatory, but it was more expected or needed under Amorim because of the chaos that the club have made in the last couple of weeks. I don't think it can no longer be a mandatory or expected. What the only thing I would say is, like, barring some sort of Ole bounce from Carrick, I don't think it's something that can be realistic. I know we're only 4 points off top 4, but we're starting to play tough games now. What probably is realistic and maybe what is needed, but under Carrick, is European qualification of some description, primarily Europa League. I wouldn't be too fussed in conference, to be honest. Although you might get a game against Shelburne, but apart from that, yeah, I think we need to qualify for Europe.
Ooh, naked. Right. Actually, before we go on, when you're talking about Shelburne, I never got saying my favorite players and stuff like that there, and I have a very important thing to say, because although I don't think I can compete with Dex, but my favorite player has to be David Beckham. Whatever I was thinking about it earlier, it has to be David Beckham, partly because of the impact that I believe I had on his career at Shelburne in Tulka Park many years ago, 1984, I think it was. And United were there in the pre-season, and I actually found the Matchday magazine there. It's just
I was at that game.
I was at that game as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and Beckham
Wearing
was
green and yellow.
Beckham was
That's
a young cub, and he no, I think that was I think he came 2 years in a row, because the day we were at it was red. That was the pre-season before he scored against Galatasaray in the Champions League.
Right. No,
But he was warming up.
Yeah.
Right in front of us, and I was probably about, I don't know, it was 11 or something. I ran down, and I knew him from, do you remember MUTV videos?
Yeah.
So I was shouting, and I knew who he was, and I was shouting, back him, and he was just stretching his groin. I remember vividly stretching his groin, and then I was like, David, and he looked straight around at me, and he came over, and I was like, autograph, and he came straight over to me, and he signed it, and then as soon as I did that, I got like ambushed by about 20 kids behind me, but he signed that there. I give him the nod. He went on, and he scored a class goal. I think he lobbed a guy or something in that game, and then that kickstarted his career. You know, he then got into the game, Champions League final, or not Champions League final, sorry, got into the Champions League game, Galatasaray, and that was it. So it
was a sliding doors moment for David Beckham.
It was. He doesn't know it.
Has he even bothered to thank you for that?
Yeah, I know not yet, but that's partly why we started this podcast, because never know.
He'll find you now.
Yeah. He's got a chance to find me now. So I have to get that in. So sorry, right, we go back to this. Right, Jeff, I have you lined up here next. So let me get the 60 seconds on the clock. Away you go, Jeff.
So is Champions League mandatory? It's always mandatory for us, right? We're Manchester United. We expect to be there every year. Is it realistic this year? No. My expectations going into the season, seeing what Amram was trying to do, if we could get 5 to 10 on the table, we made progress. Some good signings in the summer helped us get there, but whatever happened, I don't know the reasons, but he was sacked. Everything went out the window with that. We're 11 points off third. Liverpool's in fourth. We're 2 points behind, but we have 6 tough points ahead of us. We could be 15th by the end of the month. A lot's going to ride on the points we take out of the next 2 games, and I just don't see us even getting into Europe for next season. 5th will even be tough to get into. That's
okay.
My thoughts.
You don't. Oh, okay. Not. Jeff says we're not even going to get into Europe. Even the Conference League.
I don't see it. We got, and Michael mentioned what I'd said earlier. We got a lot of teams that are right down our backs, that Chelsea's right there, Fulham's making a run, Brentford's right there. It's going to be tough. Every point's going to matter. And we're not going to bring anybody in this window. They've already more or less said that. And who wants to come when the coach is, up in the air? Who's going to come when they don't know who the boss is going to be? It's going to be tough.
Okay. Killian, we'll go to you next. Let me get up your 60 seconds here. Where you go?
Well, so, I mean, if you asked me this a few days ago, I probably would have said mandatory. And while I don't think it's mandatory, I think it's mandatory we at least compete for it. Is it realistic we get Champions League? Probably not, because City are good, Arsenal are good, Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool. There's a lot of teams who are better than us in that race. So it's not realistic in my opinion. But I would love Champions League, obviously, and I think, we have less fixtures than all the other teams who are competing for it, which definitely helps us a lot. Our squad's still good enough to compete for it too, so it's not impossible. But I think if we can at least compete for 5th place or something, I'd be happy enough for that. If we do fall into the Europa League for next season, so be it. I just want to see European football for next season because this season's been boring without it, let's face it. So overall, I wouldn't say it's mandatory. I wouldn't say it's realistic. However, what I do believe is mandatory is we at least compete with the teams in around 3rd to 5th place for Champions League.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, who's Darren? Have you done?
That's a good point. Could I just
go ahead? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Jump in there. Jump in there.
I do, and there is a run of kind of tough games coming up. But am I right in saying that we put it up to the teams up at the top of the league this season? It was only Man City that actually embarrassed us. But we did put it up to them. So these, and it's the players themselves have to step up, because they do like what Darren Fletcher said after his 2 games. The first thing he said was the players have to step up. He knows that the players are kind of stepping up. It's right to say, but I watched an Arsenal game in the Cup the other day, and they didn't stop running for 90 minutes. I watched the United game. And did we start running for any of that game? It's a world of a difference. So it's a world of it. Is it fitness? Is it coaching? Is it that? But we can put it up to the teams at the top of the league for the one-off games. So why can't we put a run of 3 or 4 games together against teams around the middle of the league? Because your bread and butter is earned by beating the teams below you or around you. Like Man City can go out and lose to Arsenal, or they can go out and lose to Liverpool. But if they beat Fulham, if they beat Bournemouth, if they beat Brighton, if they're up at the top of the league, and they're going to be jumping into 5th place, and they're going to be hounding the guys that are in 2nd and 3rd if they beat the bread and butter teams. That's not what we're doing. But we are putting it up to the teams at the top of the league. So anyway.
Yeah.
Good point.
Okay, good point. Darren. Has Darren gone yet, has he?
Yeah, no, sir.
Okay, Darren, you give your 60 seconds up here, and then we'll have an open debate as well.
Yeah,
there we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's definitely not mandatory because we're not there anymore that we should be qualifying for the Champions League. We're just not there. Is it realistic? Well, it's top 5 nowadays. So I just think with the inconsistency of everyone else, if there's a lot of this with this, if we get all our players back, we need to get the Ligt back. McCore's back, but he's still a bit injured. If we can put a run of games together, you can get up to the head, you can get it around her. There's a lot of it where that inconsistent. Like that run of games we just had, we were meant to get Everton, Bournemouth, West Ham on them. And many points where we meant to get, we got nothing out of it. Like that, we do play better against the bigger teams, but we don't play them enough. So we could, I wouldn't say with any great confidence that we will get Champions League, but I just think because the fact that everyone else is inconsistent, that leaves an opening for us. It might be enough to get us in, but I wouldn't say with any great hope, to be honest with you. But look, like I said, with the new, I know he's been new manager before, with the new manager bounce, maybe, stars might align, we might get a run together. Maybe ifs and all that. It's possible. It's not. I wouldn't say we're not going to qualify the Champions League. It's not taking Champions League because I don't want to qualify for the Conference League. That's just whenever it's Europa, the Conference is just
nonsense.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that. Yeah. David, you haven't had a chance yet to speak, have you?
No.
No. All right. Okay. Get your 60 seconds up, and then we can open it up then to the room. So, David, away you go there.
Yeah, I don't think it's mandatory for this season. I think we'll be thereabouts, but I think we're just going to fall short. We should be challenging since we only have that left now in the league to go for, because we out the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup is gone as well, so we have nothing to play for really. So we should be pushing it on for the last 17 games. Because the big teams, we always turn up, apart from City away. There's no reason why we can't beat City at home and get a point against Arsenal. Well, I think if we don't get Champions League, I think we get Europa League for next season. Anyway, I think that will be Europe next year for us.
Okay. All right. There we go. Okay. So listen, we'll open it up then to the room. I mean, I suppose go ahead, guys.
I think for us to qualify for the Champions League, we're going to have to be in a situation where that guy has got his hair cut, because that's the sort of consistency we need. Do you know what I mean? If he's getting his hair cut, we might be thereabouts, like. But apart from that,
I want to
silly
touch
cat.
on some of you are saying you don't want Conference League. I would disagree with that, actually. I think I would prefer Conference League than no European football, because I know you're not playing against great opposition, but I think, it presents a good opportunity of getting some European silverware too. I mean, Chelsea won it last season. That definitely surely has done some benefits behind the scenes for them as well. And it gives you something to celebrate as well. So for me, like, you get European football, which adds excitement to the season. Because you're not playing against great opposition, you're likely to, be able to rotate the team and get a couple of wins here and there, which is also good for momentum. And you get some silverware. Well, you got a very good chance of some silverware too. So I think
maybe a
Conference League
chance to
would be good.
blood these young academy
Yeah.
players who maybe
And-
aren't getting
Yeah, all
the
the talk we've had about Manu this year, if we had some more games,
Yeah.
we might still be talking about Manu the whole season, you know, so.
Well, I think
For all us
that
United fans.
that was a huge kind of distraction to Amram as well, because every press conference he was in, and what about Manu? And why was Manu on the bench? But he did try Manu, and Manu, to me, he didn't take his chances. Now, am I the
Yeah,
only one that
same.
thinks that? He just didn't take his chances. He wasn't
He
great.
wasn't good.
Compared to the
He
last
wasn't good
game,
last
did you even-
season. Yeah.
Did
So,
you even
no.
notice he was on the pitch last game? I mean,
Yeah, so I just failed to see why he was hounded about Kobe Manu. And I think the media as well kind of got to Amram a fair bit, because they literally...
it was a rod
yeah.
to beat Amram with. The same with Van de Beek,
Yeah. Yeah.
back with Solskjaer, just something to use against him.
yeah.
I mean, I think it was wrong for Amram the way he treated Manu, but I do agree with you in the sense that Manu wasn't necessarily playing brilliant over last season. In the limited time he's got this season, I almost feel as if he got overplayed by Ten Hag in his breakthrough season, and that's almost burnt him out a wee bit.
Maybe Amram wasn't actually seeing it in training. You know, we're not seeing the training, and maybe there is.
He said it a couple of times there, exactly that he's, look, I'm the one that sees the training, like, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the English media as well, the fact that he's an English young player, that added to their hounding, of the Portuguese manager not playing him. Yeah. So.
Well, he dealt with certain players very well. The way he got rid of Rashford, I thought was genius. And so he was able to get rid of certain players. But I think in that midfield role, I just don't think he'd had the option but to keep kind of Kobe Manu. He probably would have sent him out on loan, but we just needed him. Like,
options.
when the manager of Blackburn, was it last season? Was it Blackburn last season or something like that, in the cup games there? He said, "Well, how did you beat United?" Well, the midfield. We were strolling through the midfield. He actually came out and said it, and it still wasn't addressed. You still had,
But that's been the key to beating us for a
Casemiro.
decade.
Yeah.
That's literally been the key to beating United for a decade. Beat them in the middle. I mean,
Shocking.
honestly, we can go further. We haven't had a strong midfield since we pulled Scholes out of retirement. And it hasn't been addressed. And we've had good midfielders.
Ironically, Michael Carrick
We've
was
not
part
had
or
a
last
unit
season.
of midfield.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Sorry, Jeff.
Go ahead, Jeff.
No worries. No, I was just saying we've had good midfielders come in, but we haven't had that unit of a midfield for well over a decade, even back to before Fergie left.
Totally agree.
Well, all the talk is this summer we're getting 2 midfielders in, so hopefully now I don't know, believe it, Wharton, Anderson. I don't know. But we need something in there, because it is like Casemiro's definitely gone. Fernandez, I'm not sure yet. Well, so we need a new Ugarte. I'm surprised how bad he's been. I thought he'd be a lot better than he is.
Awful.
Is Casemiro's contract up this summer?
Yeah.
Has to
It
be.
is, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not
Fernandez, you want
not
the
gonna be.
transfer fee. Do you know what I mean? So
I think
Yeah.
Bruno is going to be gone too.
Yeah.
We're going to have
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah,
we're going to have a lot of space to fill in the summer window.
Do you know?
I'd
I'm
say
gonna-
Bruno, getting rid of Amram, I'd say that was the last straw for him. I think, I'm out of here.
I'm gonna. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on, sorry.
No, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna go against the general tide here, because that I actually think that I'm thinking of it from Michael Carrick's position there today, and like without any of the scar tissue of what's gone on already. If I'm just looking at it as a 17-game season, and I'm thinking, right, with the players that he has, and he's in the hunt, he's in the race, the position we're in, with no other abstractions, we're only going to be playing one game a week. Gary Neville spoke. I don't know who this guy is. This guy who's, Gareth Southgate's best mate, but I've heard a lot of good things about his coaching style and the order that he could potentially bring in. And I'm going to say that I think it was Jeff maybe said, we have to. It should always be mandatory for United to be going for the Champions League place. I agree with that. I don't know why I'm feeling optimistic tonight. I really wasn't on Sunday or whatever it was, but I'm going to say to you that I think with these guys coming back, we were under Amram with Mbemo. It wasn't great, but we were doing all right. I think we could put a run of games together. Gags is sitting here shaking his head at me, and he's saying, "You're absolutely nuts." But I'm going to stand out in them. I'm going to say that we will get Champions League football this year. So clip that up.
Well, it's not impossible. Like it's not impossible from the position that they're in. But we have there's no momentum, and all this season and all last season there was no momentum. Like if United could put a run of 6 games together, we'll definitely be in the mix. It gives the team a lift. It gives the manager a lift. It would give that. But if you look at the 2 games that Fletcher took charge of, we started off like friends. We were peppering the teams in front of their goal. Just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, and that gives the opposition a chance just to gain that bit of momentum, and that's what happened in both games. But there's no you can't see where the midfield's going to grasp a game. You can't see where the front 2, if you want to play the 2 or the wide players, you just can't see where they're going to grab a hold of a game and put 2 goals in and go 2 or 3-0. It's not happened yet, and I just can't see it happen.
So the one bit of optimism I have to that is we're going to see Ahmad playing a little bit differently than Abraham's been playing, and we have Mbomo on that side too. Sesko seems to be finding his touch, maybe with a more forward approach than what we were playing with the 3-5-3. We see more balls going in. I mean, we're still, I think, 3rd in the league right now in total goals scored. It's not like we're not finishing. We should be finishing better. What's really killing us is defending. We've given up too many goals. And you touched on Delight coming back, and I think that's been a big understated miss. That we had an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old as our starting center backs. There should never be. They're both great players and they're going to have brilliant careers, but there should never be a time Manchester United has an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old as their starting center backs.
Yeah,
100%.
Agreed.
Yeah. I'd say Euro was at fault for one of the goals the other day, and him and Mount were they were on the same player. How was that player allowed to turn and get a shot off in the box? It was just shocking. Really was. It was shocking. And Jeff's 100% right, because there's no experience. If you had a Harry Maguire in the centre of that defence, he might, I don't think he's the answer to United's defensive problem, but I don't think we would have conceded a few goals that we've actually conceded over the last couple of games.
I definitely think the last couple of games, the positive that I took from it was the fact that Sesko got 3 goals. And in the Burnley game, his second goal, especially from the cross, you know what I mean? That was just that's sort of, it was just instinctive. It was like he'd already scored, and you could just see the pressure was sort of gone, and he just did it. But also, what was important about that was Dorgu. He got the ball and he just whipped the ball in, put it in there, put it in.
It was a great cross. It was actually a great cross.
And he's capable of doing it, isn't he? Dorgu's very capable of putting service in.
Yeah, he wants service. So if you were to play Sesko with 2 orthodox wingers, how good could he be?
Exactly. Really good at that.
I think he can probably put 20 to 30 goals in.
Yeah. I think he's great. I think he'd be brilliant. I'm surprised when Amram went in for wanted Watkins over Sesko. Sesko, I think his first touch, he's really clean. He lays the ball off a lot better, especially in Highland. I'd like to kind of argue with Andy Cole. he's getting into the box and he's getting the chances. So he will start finishing them. But you'd be more worried because Hodgson wasn't even getting the chance, whereas Sesko's getting in there. I like that bit of confidence which seems to be growing. He'll start putting chances as well. I'm just delighted when we got him, to be honest with you, and I have been since.
And you're starting to see he's brilliant in the air. He's going to just get better in the air too. You know, I don't think Watkins would ever brought that to us, and Hoyland didn't have that capability. You know, you didn't really see him up and get balls. Sesko's going to score a lot of headers.
Yeah. Well, listen, that brings us in nicely into our next question here. So let me just bring it up here on the screen. Boom, boom, boom. Where is it? There we go. Can we get this going? Let's see. Right. So we've had that first question. Their second question is, okay, so obviously, like with Ted, the new management has come in to the end of the season. And we just talked there about Dorgu and putting the balls in the box. That I miss those days. I miss those days of wingers at Old Trafford and like bombing the balls in, causing trouble. But the question is, from now to the end of the season, that's all we're talking about here. One, is it still possible for that style of football to play? Do we ever think that can ever return to Old Trafford, or is it just too much ticky-tacky now? Or like the long throw, is it going to come back, or could it come back? But then at the same time, between now and the end of the season, if he gets the results, which is more important, the results or the style of football? If he was getting results and we qualified for Europe, would you be happy with that? Or is the football more important, the style of football and enjoying the game, actually being entertained by the game? Gags, we'll kick off with you there, this one. Oh, hold on, I'm getting a 60-second timer up here on you, so nobody's saying I'm cheating. There we go.
Would I trade results for what entertainment style of football?
Between now and the end of the season.
Like, see, in the past, I'd have said, look, we want to be entertained. We want to be entertained. You know, we don't want to be winning and boring games. It's not the United way. I sort of feel a wee bit different. Just we've been so worn down by just not getting results. I sort of feel, at least for the last 4 or 5 months of this season, results are just so important. We need to start getting 3 points in games. We need to turn these draws and defeats into 3 points. And we're going to need that to stabilise the club, to give us into maybe Europe next year. Can the old United play come back? 100% it can come back, but that comes from the players. The players have to have the right identity to create that. At the moment, I don't think we have those players, but we can find them again. And once you do that and have the right manager, we can go back to the way United were.
Okay. I'm not going to hit the horn if the time hasn't run off, because then some of the guys are kind of getting daft each time we do it. So what I'm going to do, I've got a list here of everybody's names, so we'll just go in that order.
Sure.
So we'll go to Michael next. Michael.
No, 100% echo that. Yeah, no, 100% echo that, because, like, you know, half of the season's gone. You know, we're after Christmas now, so we're just looking forward. And looking forward, I think we'd love to get any sort of European football. We'd love to drive on. We'd love to push on. It doesn't matter about like the style of football. I remember Van Gaal coming in. He won the FA Cup in his first year. Mourinho came in. He actually delivered as well. The football wasn't great, but it delivered silverware, and the fans were over the moon at the end of the season. You know, with the bit of silverware. The same with Ten Hag when he beat Newcastle in the cup final at the end of the season. I remember going out and just coming home and feeling, I got pissed, by the way, fell over fucking few car bonnets as well, but it was great. And so if I could trade it all, if I could trade like beautiful football, stylish football, but we're not getting results, no, I'd rather have results, 100%.
That one got one there. Okay, Killian, on to you then in the studio. 60 seconds.
No worries.
Go ahead.
Well, if I had to choose one or another, I would go results, because ultimately, do I want European football, the Arsenal next season? 100% I do, even if that's Conference League, which many people will be against. But I just want to see us playing European football. I don't want us playing only Premier League games and only Premier League opposition for another season. Of course, I want to be playing against teams from all across the continent. I want to have midweek games and stuff. But what I'm actually going to say is, I think in theory, it could be achievable both. I think Michael Carrick can get us playing more entertaining football while at the same time delivering results. I think it's possible both can be achieved to an extent anyway. Maybe it won't be the best football, but I think Carr can definitely improve our style of play. But ultimately, it is a big ask, and ultimately, if we can't do that, then I would pick results definitely, because I want to see us winning football matches, and I want to see us trying to get European football, even Champions League football, as much as possible.
All right. Okay. Who's up next then? There we've got Jeff. You're
Yeah,
up
I
next.
mean, I'll just kind of echo what Michael and Killian said. Obviously results, it's a game of results. Results matter. And getting into European football is number one. It's going to help us get better players in. It's going to make all the difference. As far as can we get back to playing, the United way, probably not this season. Will Carrick bring us closer to it? I think so. We'll be playing more on the front foot. It'll be more attacking football. I think it was Michael who mentioned what oh geez, Vingal and Josie coming in. I said to a younger fellow a couple weeks ago, that killed the United way. They literally ripped the culture of how we play football out. And we need a Carrick or a Fletcher or an Ole to come in and kind of reestablish that. But it's going to take time. And, it's not going to happen this year. We just need to win as many points as we can this year.
Okay. That one caught me as well. All right, who have we got up next then? Darren, you're up. 60 seconds. Where you go?
Yeah. Again, I just be repeating, but I think we've got a couple of seasons under Mourinho and even last season with Amram where the football all we were doing was just looking forward to the final. I mean, you think about like that Europa League final, worst game ever. All we wanted was the result. Didn't care how you get there. Can the football come back? I think that depends on the coach we get in. You think about Louis van Gaal and Jose. That's why I'd be a bit wary too. Coming in, he's not the most attacking of coaches. Now, me personally, if I could get anyone, it'd be Luis Enrique, because I think he would play the type of football that Man United would it'd be free flowing. Can we get back there? Yeah, but it definitely depends on the type of coach we get in, because I think Tuchel's a pragmatist. Someone like even Emery, I'd definitely take him because he plays attacking football. Depends on the coach we get. So yeah.
Okay. And David.
Yeah, I think mostly, I think results are more important now this year than the performance at the moment. If we can put any kind of performance in, it's a bonus. But if we put performance in and we get results, I think we can definitely push on in the last 17 games, and I think we will get European football for next season. I've no doubt about that. And with the new manager coming in, whoever that be is, we have to wait and see who it will be and who will they bring in with him. That's how I think so.
I love the wee Alex Ferguson saying there, no doubt about that, at the end there. But yeah, listen, I mean, I don't think we'll see that 4-4-2. I would actually love to see that 4-4-2, but I don't understand why, like long balls are coming back, or not long balls, sorry, long throw-ins are coming back in the fashion and stuff. So I don't see why we couldn't. I'd love to see it. I'd really like to see, because I'm sure surely everybody has still grown up. Maybe they're not. Maybe
I tell you a manager who I would maybe say could be available in the summer and who I think would be most realistic to return on that. And he wouldn't be my priority, but I wouldn't mind to see him. Luis Enrique, I would probably agree, would be my priority. But Eddie Howe, in my opinion, he would likely play similar enough football, I would believe. That sort of counter-attacking football, fast-flowing, I think. Now, forgive me, I didn't watch United rules, so I don't fully know the United way, but I'm just trying to think, compared to, Tuchel or Glasner or Areola, etc. I think Howe would be the man you'd look for if you wanted to see the closest thing to what you're referring to as the United way.
Yeah, I remember whenever we started, in the mid 90s, like we weren't getting very far in Europe, and then Ferguson started changing the system when we'd play in Europe, and I remember being raging at that, because I was just like, why are you changing the thing? Stick to what we know, but it had
to be done.
It did have to be done at that stage, but this no, I mean, I would just like to see it. Like, I'd love. I would personally have liked to have seen, and we said this a few weeks ago. Like we said if Amarin went, I'd love to have seen Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane into the end of the season. I thought that those two as a joint would have been a hell of a management team. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I don't know how you guys feel with this, but I was very disappointed in Roy Keane's kind of statement there a couple of weeks ago, saying he's hanging around like a bad smell. He's a very blinkered pundit, right? So he's just focusing on his kind of grudge with Alex Ferguson, and all he wants to do is produce these little but he just produces these little kind of sound bites, and then the media pick up on them, and then they plaster them all over the radio, they plaster them all on papers, hung around like a bad smell. But like, so the same player was let go by Alex Ferguson, like primarily because he's coming towards the end of the season. But he let Beckham go. He was on the verge of letting Rooney go. He let Jaap Stam go. He's gotten rid of sensational footballers for the sake of the football team. And Roy Keane he's very blinkered, and I was very disappointed because if anyone wanted to like advice on how to run a football team, how to manage a football team, how to be good with the players, know all the players' names, know their diets, know what time they're coming in at, no, it's Alex Ferguson. You don't go to Roy Keane and ask him, sorry, Ryan, sorry, Roy, about your management, can I ask you? Because he didn't do anything. He's just a blinkered pundit, and I was very disappointed. I just wanted to say that. I was very disappointed.
No, he's so bitter about how he left United because he can't let it go.
I know, but like he'd let so many great players go in order to build a football team.
Roy Keane can't let go about what happened with United. He's
a cop.
Can't get over.
Whenever he said
the
that
luxury
statement,
of a lot of extra talent to be able to let talent go. We don't have that right now.
Well, how many football teams did Alex Ferguson build?
We had younger players that were just as or almost as good to step right in.
Yeah. Well, like Alex Ferguson played with 4 strikers at one stage, and all 4 strikers were sensational strikers. He didn't have 4. He had Sheringham, he had Solskjaer, he had Cole, he had York. Like, and if you want to play a 4-4-2, either set of those strikers could win you a Champions League.
And that was the point I was going to make as we talked about 4-4-2. You almost need 4 strikers. We're lucky that we got one who's just barely coming into his own.
Yeah.
How
not many good strikers out there anymore, though. I think it's a giant market. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think wingers nowadays.
Yeah,
so
I think Rio. I think Rio actually said that. He said, "Where do you pull these strikers from?" He said, "You can't."
Not there.
There's a reason nobody plays 4-4-2 anymore, and that's it. You just can't amass that many strikers.
Don't forget Ole, when he was managing Molde, alerted United to Haaland.
That's right. Yeah, shocking.
They ignored him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So there's so much accountability in that club. The scouting system and things. There so many other clubs are so much more clued in. We don't develop
the only
players.
thing I would say to that is that was under Woodward. And so I'd maybe give Wilcox and Barrera a little bit of leeway because it was Woodward just passed on Bellingham. How many players did they pass on? Do you know what I mean? It was just, we're bad now, but we were worse back then. Like,
we also don't know if had United called Højlund, if he would have said, "Yeah, I'm coming," he might not have wanted to play for United, especially with everything that's been going on over the last 10 years. So,
well, I think he wanted that. I think that was it.
And then you got the families. His dad obviously has history. So, like, it's great to say we should have had him. We don't know for sure.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Cool. Well, listen. We'll go on to question 3. Let's just see it here. Everybody got to go there, didn't they?
Yeah.
All right, here's question 3. So there's this talk about interims and interim or opportunity. So my take on this is that the board has brought in this team now to the end of the season, and they're gonna have the same problem that they had with Ole. And I hope it does happen, if they go on a run and they perform well and they do get what the club has said is the aim is Champions League football, that's a really sticky position for them to be in then, because how the hell would you at that stage think it would be a good idea to move those guys on and bring in a new regime? It's such a risky play. Okay, that's the question: is what does success look like for these guys? Honestly, that kind of, there's a bit of a link there to the previous question about that style of play. I kind of like, I would, if you said to me, will you accept boring football but get Champions League, or would you accept exciting games and get European football? I take exciting games to get European football because I am so fed up of watching boring games. That's what I'm thinking now anyway. But the question on this one is, what does success look like? I'm going to start up with this one. I'm going to say that I honestly think that the guys are coming in with a clean slate, and like I said, I think the talent is there. I don't know whether or not these guys are going to be any good. There's nothing there that tells me that they are. Certainly, Roy Keane had an awful go today at Woodgate and Johnny Evans, and he has a point.
Michael Carrick's wife even brought in. Did you hear that?
No, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
he had a bit of beef with Michael Carrick's wife years ago.
All right.
12 years ago, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, Lord, let it go.
He said Michael Carrick's wife's probably doing the team talk.
Oh my God! Well, there we go. You see, there's always things, but okay, that's crazy. I just heard what he said about Woodgate and Evans, and I had to agree actually. But okay, so what does success look like? Garrix, we'll kick off with you again then.
Yeah, okay.
What is success for this team? And then let's hypothetically say that they get Champions League football. What are you going to do with them at the summer?
All right. For Carrick and his coaching team, remainder of the season, basically in my mind, what I think success looks for them is basically trying to get to like a 50% winning percentage. Let's get going. Let's start winning games. Okay. This should hopefully lead to the next point, which is getting either Champions League or Europa League qualification. I think either is a positive sign, because neither are going to be easy. The other thing I want to see is, I do want to see in with all of this that he continues to try to bring forward a couple of these youngsters in the share late season things, because I think that guy looks like good raw talent, and we should definitely try to develop him. If he gets Champions League, what we're going to do with him, I think we should be going for a different coach, but it depends who the other coach is, because you're going to tell me it's Gareth Southgate. We're keeping Carrick, give him a 6-year contract over Gareth Southgate.
Yeah, well, you're sitting on the fence there now, because essentially, you are sitting on the fence, because here the question is not, at the end of the season if they've done well, and do you have a look around to see? The question is, if they've done well, they've got Champions League football, right? Can you say? Can they possibly then?
Well, I think if we get Champions League football, we know what's going to happen. It's going to be the Ole thing again. The fans, we're all going to be delighted, and there's no way they're not going to keep Carrick.
Yeah, but that's okay. No, that's all right.
And I think that's probably the right. If we get Champions League football, he should stay.
All right. Okay, there we go. Got you off the fence in the end there. Yeah, we get you there. Yeah. Right, on to Michael. Michael, get your 60 seconds on the clock. Where you go?
Yeah, no. I think.
We lost you there, Michael. Oh, Michael, we'll come back to you there. You seem to have a bad.
It's the Glazers.
Bad connection there. We'll move back into the studio here. Killian, with Michael. We'll come back to you after Killian here. Okay. Go ahead, Killian.
Well, with Carrick and his coaching team, for me, success would be allowing these players to express themselves and play football, while also getting results and getting European football for next season. We have to get European football for next season for sure, and I think it can be done with the likes of with your Mbumos, your Cunhas, your Sheskos even as well, Bruno Fernandes, Mount. All these players can be exciting players in my opinion. If you let them express themselves, they play their football, we can get results in my opinion. In terms of if we get Champions League football, would I keep Michael Carrick? To be honest, I mean, as much as, you'd be inclined to do so in that scenario, I probably wouldn't in the end, because, especially if there's a top-class manager like Luis Enrique out there, you just want to get long-term success. And with Michael Carrick, it could be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer over again. He didn't last too long in Middlesbrough either. So
finish off what you're saying there.
Yeah, so overall, Michael Carrick, I think he can fill in well for the rest of the season. I'm happy he's in as a caretaker for the rest of the season, but definitely not a long-term answer in my opinion. And especially if there's someone like Luis Enrique knocking about, we have to take that chance. We have to try to get the best possible manager in the summer, even if Carrick gets his Champions League football.
All right, Michael, you got cut off from us there. We'll go back to you
sorry,
there.
I got you there. Yeah, go on. No, it's the same thing. Like, I echo what those lads said about kind of Solskjaer. Like, he came in and, he got some great results and he went on a running streak. And then as soon as he got the job, he lost so many in a row. Like, how many games did he lose in a row? So you'd look at that and you'd say, right, he got us into Champions League. But is this a great league? Like, it's so compact around that area where 4 points, is going to take you into the Champions League. It's not a great season. So is it really a great achievement if he got us? Yeah, it's a great achievement for the Glazers. It's a great achievement for us, the fans and all that stuff. But would you keep him? Would you keep Gary? Look, we don't have a crystal ball. He could go in there tomorrow. He could win 14 out of 17 games. And then he definitely would be in with a shout of getting the job. Because the last two managers couldn't even manage that.
Nope. Yeah. Do you want to finish off there? Were you?
No. Go on. Go.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Whenever that horn goes off, guys, listen. Like, you feel free to talk for another couple of seconds, and then I'll blow it again. A couple of seconds. If a couple of seconds goes 20 seconds, I'll blow it again. All right, Jeff, you're up next, Jeff.
Yeah, the whole firing Amarim, him being sacked at the time he was kind of like there was more going on behind the scenes. It wasn't just results. I think there was personal differences and a lot of trouble. I think whatever agreements were made with Carrick were set forth. We probably don't know about them, but I'm sure they told him whether he has a chance of being the boss going forward after whether he gets us in the Champions League or not. And I honestly don't think he's going to be. I think that was probably what kept Ole out. He probably expected, hey, I get you the Champions League. I want the job back. To the point some of the other lads made, we got to get the best available manager out there who's going to play offensive, exciting Manchester United football. There's a lot of candidates that are going to be popping up, and that's where we need to be. But in the meantime, Michael Carrick needs to be a good citizen to Manchester United like he always has and get the lads playing the best football.
Sorry about that, Jeff. I'm going to have to get a bit of a quieter horn. Sorry, Jeff. You didn't hear that last part there?
I was just saying Carrick needs to be the good servant to United that he's always been and get the lads to play the best football they can play.
Cool. All right, Darren, you're up next.
Yeah, for me, so, I think we should be going, like the guy said, we should definitely be going for Champions League. With Carrick, I think I wouldn't keep him on. I know the temptation would be if we had the type of season like Ollie did to keep him on, but we have to learn from that mistake. I think what we should do is basically, Carrick, what it'll do if he has a good season, it should get him his next job, be it in the Premier League or the Championship, and let's go and get a proper coach because they need to do the homework on this because they're after making a fool of themselves with Amarim. So they need to make sure that they get the person they're in, play the football that they want to play at Man United. But it shouldn't be Carrick. I know the temptation, the romance and all that. Let's keep Carrick, but we made that mistake with Ollie and we got bored. Carrick is, and we need a proven coach to take a hold of this ship, especially in the next season. With a big summer, big transfer window ahead of us. It's going to be tougher with the World Cup as well, getting the targets we might want. So now, go all out for top level coach.
All right, okay. So just David then. Just David left there. David, your thoughts?
Yeah, pretty much what the lad said there, what Darren said there. Until the end of the season, Carrick will be fine. But long term, I don't think he will. We don't want to make the same mistake what we done with Solskjaer. But Luis Enrique, who's out there at the moment, we could get him in quick and fast in the summer. Because we can't be waiting for managers who's at the World Cup with the countries, waiting for them to finish and everything else. Because the time they finish with the World Cup, this pre-season will be pretty much starting for clubs. So we have to get managers in straight away after when the season finishes. And I think Luis Enrique will probably be the best bet for us to get in. And that's what I think anyway.
Yeah, I think It does sound a bit like that from some of the things I've heard. Anyway, it does sound like they'll probably go for somebody who isn't in the World Cup.
What does everybody think about? Look, it's just his name's been mentioned. I don't know if there's much credence to it, but he is a World Cup manager, Ancelotti. But what would everybody's thoughts be? You know, I mean, I would take him. I think he's a man of probably incredible stature, like in the game. So
I think he's underrated. I mean, the amount of Champions Leagues he's won, he doesn't get talked about the same way Ferguson and Guardiola. He's won about 4 Champions Leagues. Like he's won leagues in every domestic every week. He does. I think he's not underrated, but like he kind of goes under the radar because of his personality and all that. But he'd be me. I'd definitely take Ancelotti. I think he's a cracking manager.
I think the only thing I have to counter that is how long would he be here? You know, he's getting towards the end of his career. If he comes in for 3, 4, or 5 years, we might win, a league and Champions League, and then we're back looking for a manager in 3, 4, 5 years.
No,
we'll take that. We'll take it.
Yeah, take it.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, when was the last time a manager stayed that long anyway? And if you were saying to me, he can come in,
like if a manager who's having success, we want him to stay, right?
Yeah, but I think if we can have a manager having success to start with, I'd be happy enough.
He's 66. He'll be here for 10 years. Treat him right.
Yeah. He doesn't look an overly stressed guy. He's always seems quite chilled out, like,
Puts the eyebrow up.
Does he have it in him? Like, he won a lot of trophies, but he had some great teams. This team needs built, and does he have that in him right now at 66 to build a team?
Yeah,
I think he does.
I think my theory on that there is that it is very much you could put anybody into this club, and you could put Klopp, or you could put in Pep, or any of these guys, but until the people above that are making the decisions, and like none of these managers have been backed, I'm sick and tired of bringing in new people, and it is just repeating all the time. You bring them in, you give them a few players at the start, they start doing well, and then they identify there's holes here, and then they're like, yeah, there's holes there, no, but no, you're not getting anyone. And then it just kind of goes again. It doesn't make any sense. And these guys, a lot of these guys are meant to be business people, and but they make stupid business decisions.
The reason why it doesn't make sense is because they are business people. They don't care about winning trophies. Yeah. They just see geez, it's nearly every week we have a different training top out. Like Ruben Amorim was like a fashion show. Every week he was wearing a different jumper or a different coat. It's all merchandise and driving sales.
But I think...
But that hoodie was fucking mint, and we could never get it. It's never been available.
What did he say? Say it again.
The hoodie he wore for about 8 weeks. Fucking mint, but it was sold out completely.
But do we not need, a certain level of success on the pitch in order to generate funds, in order to generate money, in order to back the manager? Because at the moment, there's nothing. Right? And it doesn't look like we're going to get to
I don't know why he thought we'd be signing someone in January. There's no one there. I know Conor Gallagher's gone to Spurs, but he's kind of average. Will we not be better off keeping the money till summer?
Semenyo was a really fabulous footballer, and I think he would have been a Man United footballer. He's just an unbelievable talent, but he had City in his eye line. But now he's a great player, but is he going to be a regular player for City? You're like,
no,
that fucking team is so good. It's so good. Is he going to be a regular in that team?
I'd say the same thing about United. I mean, I would have loved Semenyo. I think he's a fantastic footballer, but I was happy enough we didn't go for him because we don't really need him. We've got Mbeumo, we've got Cunha, we've got Ahmad.
Where do we play him?
Shea Lacey's coming up too. So we're just oversaturated in that position.
Spend that money in midfield.
Exactly. Yes.
But I think the difference is, City's doing what we used to do, right? They're stockpiling those players. Where I had a conversation today with someone, and they're like, "Well, who's going to sit?" I'm like, "When did it matter who sits? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sat his entire career, and his name is flying on a banner in Old Trafford. When did we get to? We can't bring a player in because he might sit."
Yeah, well, I think that's the problem, though. For me, though, is that and I think that's probably one of the things that was annoying Amorim, the fact that they were the club, the people above him were prepared to spend 60, 65 million on Semenyo, but then not give him what he actually says he needs, which was a midfielder, which everyone has been saying for years.
Right.
You know, I think we were saying
Just
we
counter
needed
that,
a left back years ago too. I don't think we ever got a left back, did we?
But
Well, if
arguably,
we didn't put in that
Class
performance in the
again.
Europa League final, we would have got Europe. Do you know what I mean? And we would have more money, but we were crap in that game, and Cameron was
Poor
responsible
game,
for that as well. Like so,
Yeah, but
mean,
they were going to give 65 million for Semenyo, so that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
it's, like,
Yeah.
it's
the
the
menu was a strange one. I would like to go and say I don't think we need. Look, he's quality, but we've more important priorities in the midfield.
Do you
I'd
remember
rather
Ten
get the
Hag
money.
was chasing the midfielder for the whole summer, and he kept saying no. Nigel de Jong. He was chasing
Yeah.
for the whole
Yeah,
summer,
that's right.
and he was convinced he was going to get him. And I was saying, the
And-
chap said no about 20 times. Like
Yeah.
he needs to move on. And then we
And then
panic
landed
bought
with Casemiro,
Casemiro
and then we can't get
for
rid of him.
70. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was it's just a hierarchy needs
Yeah.
to take serious responsibility for what's going on.
I mean, the statement that we don't spend money, they've spent plenty of money. They've spent money on their own players.
Yeah.
You know,
Agreed.
they've bought a lot of players just to buy them.
Strong players again.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
look at
yeah.
Anthony.
Yeah.
you know, they get
Look at Sancho.
Ten Hag spent a fortune.
Yeah,
Exactly.
don't pat Sancho.
Don't mention his name.
Yeah.
See, do we not have a rule on this YouTube? See that Sancho's name is not allowed to be smoked. Freedom.
freedom fighter that he is.
We chased him for 2 years. It wasn't even like, did no one ask the question, is he a lazy prick? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I know, because you're hearing
Oh,
the
he was
reports
jogging.
now that he wasn't turning up at Dortmund, and you know all
that's
these
what I mean.
reports.
Like, it's
Not
not
even
even like
for
it
the
was with us.
national team. I mean, you know,
he had
he doesn't-
previous with this. Like,
didn't even turn up for the national team. You know, he's just lazy prick.
I can't believe he. Like, I was looking forward to him. Couldn't believe he signed him. Then it just turns out, oh no, this guy is lazy as sin. By the way,
Yeah. Well, Pep got rid of him,
Yeah.
so he obviously.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, then
Everybody
there's
thought-
then you see all the stories like Tuchel saying, no, he's lazy. He misses training to play PlayStation, and
Yeah.
another. Yeah.
And that's the worry.
Fourth
Is
generation
Sancho?
talent.
You know, Sancho's. This is his last year, isn't it? He's out of
Oh,
contract.
Has to
God.
surely.
I think
Is
it
that
is. Yeah.
Villa?
Is it Villa? Yeah.
Aye, but I think
Yeah, he's a
his
fella.
contract runs
Still a
out.
United player.
He's still in it. You know, we're still paying.
Yeah, it's
Probably still
yeah, it's
paying
his last
100
season,
grand.
isn't it? It's his
Yeah,
I
last.
think
He's
so.
still,
Yeah.
he's still on our. Yeah, he's still a United player.
We have an
Yeah.
option
Yeah.
to. We have an option to extend for a year, and those Egypts at the top will probably give it to.
We should offer him like
Imagine.
not a testimonial, but a celebration event that he's leaving.
You
I pay for
have
that.
more chance of getting Andre Onana back in goal than seeing Sancho.
Oh, God.
Back in
Change the
Don't
bloody
jinx
goal.
that. Don't
Okay,
even
so
jinx that. Don't even say
Let's
Oh,
have a
it.
quick
geez,
talk
there.
about this. So the players that we still have ownership of, is there any you would take back?
No.
No.
No, not Rashford, not Onana, not Sancho.
No.
No,
No,
zero.
I wouldn't. No, definitely not.
It's going to be a
Yeah.
terrible. This will probably raise some eyebrows, but would you take Greenwood back?
Yes.
No.
Yes. That's
Talent
happiness.
wise, no, but
I
there's too
would.
much baggage with him.
Yeah.
Way
he
too
won't
much.
come
Yeah,
back
look, I
They
again.
think-
just had
yeah,
their
well-
second baby
Well,
this
the
week.
baggage aside, yeah, I take him back.
Oh,
He's a
yeah, the
fabulous
player on
footballer.
the pitch
Right.
because he only
Fabulous
scored a hat trick there at the weekend, I think.
Unbelievable
That's
hat-trick.
I
it.
think
But
he's
like,
on
really,
15
all
goals in
that-
20 games.
There's just
I think he
there's
was hung
enough
out
bad
to
news
dry.
around Man United without that.
I think he's hung out to dry. I think there was 3 women that actually stood outside Old Trafford with the banner, and then all of a sudden he was gone.
It was
And when he
one of the
tried to
women's
explain
team.
himself, they just wouldn't even listen to him.
And
They just
rightfully
wouldn't
so.
even
I
listen.
mean, what he did was terrible. You know, we all heard it, but she found it
Yeah,
in her
but-
heart. Obviously, it wasn't so terrible that she left him. You know,
No, I
and-
think it's a different thing altogether. They were like they're like private lives, they're kind of private like. So why should they come out in the public and say, well, it's kinky, it's what we do.
Yeah.
It's just as private like. So he didn't want to come out and defend it but he just wanted to get on the pitch and play football. And I really thought
Oh, sorry.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah,
there's no way to defend it. You know, some things you just can't. The more you try to defend it, just the worse you're going to sound.
No, just draw a line under Greenwood. That's never
Yeah,
gonna happen.
the problem with Greenwood
it's
was
never gonna
that
happen,
it was so public. You know, the
Yeah.
recordings came out. Whereas if you compare it to Arsenal and Partey, like his allegations and what he's being charged with were rumored for like at least 2 seasons, and it didn't stop Arsenal playing him. And then the day or 2 days after he's out of contract, suddenly his name's released. So
Yeah.
look, it's just I think again, it's just
Yeah, but
it's
that's a
United's
little
United's.
different. Like you're talking about a bloke and his wife who are
Yeah.
still together, just had a baby. Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
it's
No, I
different
know.
than allegations of some bird you met in a club.
Yeah, yeah. I think the problem with Greenwood is just that, yeah, he was United are just so scared of losing
Yeah,
face.
no, I
Yeah,
don't think they'll ever take him back.
Yeah.
But
No, no.
I won't
No,
know.
no, they will never take him back. But he is a
no,
great player, and
But
he
that's you think.
he's
Look, the
a,
only thing I'd say, like with the boy Shea Lacey coming in, we've been talking about him for a few years now.
oh, he's
He's been
brilliant.
there's the
My
boy
God,
JJ
brilliant.
Gabriel as well. Like
Yeah.
we could probably good young players coming through in that age. So look, especially Shea Lacey, because I've heard about him the last few weeks. He had a couple of injuries. Like he's going to be a talent. You can just see the confidence
Well,
he
you can
has. Like,
see
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you can see that.
yeah,
He's gonna be the
Chap's
last
great.
one, yeah.
But I mean, like all the names we just mentioned speaks to the bigger picture of how much talent we actually developed that just fell apart in some way or another. Right? Rashford had all the talent in the world, and he just like whatever happened in his head
I have to
happened.
disagree with that. I just have to disagree. I've never seen that man display that. If you put him on a team and there's only one defender, he'll find him and he will absolutely run straight into him. I've just like he displays a bit of talent in like fits, and fits and starts.
I
And
think when he has a
he's
point to
rubbish.
prove, Rashford is brilliant. When he's nothing to prove, like when he got that contract, he
He's
downs
very.
tools.
You're
I
not
think
just
he's going to do
rubbish.
that at Barcelona. I think they'll sign him, and then he'll do to them what he did to us. He'll just level
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
and do nothing for them.
Yeah, great.
Do you think the
He's on far
collapse?
too much money. He's on far too much.
Yeah.
Do you think the collapse of the United way, kind of a kid like Rashford comes up all the way through the academy and he's can't wait to get in the first team, and then he gets there and there's a new manager every 2 years and he's being played in a different. It's not United anymore. Do you think that affects a player and like him wanting to be in the team anymore?
Well, if
Yeah,
you're
but
that good enough, sure. Ronaldo went to how many different teams under how many different? Now, I shouldn't really be comparing him to this, but there are players that go to different teams and just I don't care. Ruud van Nistelrooy left United, went to Real Madrid and scored how many goals in sports season? 38 goals. Didn't
Yeah,
matter where he went.
and
Your talent speaks for you. And the
I'm
guy had
not
no
saying
talent.
I'm not saying
Yeah.
that carrying your talent on. I'm saying you come up and all of a sudden, it's the biggest shit show in the world.
The thing is, like when
Yeah.
Rashford came in, we had Louis van Gaal and then Jose Mourinho. Like that's not United football. Do you know what I mean? So like they were just
The
the
best
football was
Rashford, the
dreadful
best
with them.
version of Rashford we got was when Ole was in charge.
Oh,
That
Yeah.
was the best Marcus Rashford we got. I think
But
he had
that's the type of
20
manager as
goals.
well. Do you know what I mean? That just like someone like Ancelotti puts his arm around him might be like what someone like Rashford wants or needs. Whereas someone who's strict and like Amram's like, no, you're 28. You know what I mean? Shouldn't have to be putting my arms around you for you to play well.
Great.
yeah. Okay. Well, listen. Let's move on to the final question that we have on the system here, which is just let me just bring it up here now. Yeah, the supporters. Okay, and I suppose this is a wee bit about there's been a lot of talk about protests starting up again, and then so the conversation is really about the role of the fans and what we can do in the club, because I suppose my thoughts on it is like the Glazers are here nearly 20 years, if not 20 years, and there's been the green and yellow protests all the time. Absolutely nothing. The only thing that has worked and it had any impact was whenever the fans stormed the pitch and got the Liverpool game
Yeah,
cancelled.
the
That was the
Liverpool game.
only game. That was the only effect that it had. And within 24 hours, Glazers were making contact with people. Blah blah blah. Now, my personal opinion on this is like, if we can't change anything, is it worth protesting about? But then at the same time, you're accepting defeat, and then you're just allowing the club to rot. But then, what would actually make a difference? Because these guys are business people, right? They don't really care if people are standing outside and holding up banners. What they care about is the bottom line, their money. So the only way I believe that they can be persuaded to leave is if they're not making money. So the conversation here is just about where do the fans come into it, and just to get everybody's views here. Gags, we'll kick off with you. I'm sure you've got opinions on this. Where you go, 60 seconds.
All right. So, rule of fans. First of all, to the team, as always, get behind this team. It's a new dawn yet again. But as always, we'll get behind it. Dak saying he's going to the away game and all. The away support is unreal, and it's a joy to watch them. So get behind the team. I like the way they've developed the Stratford end, getting the flags in, start building this atmosphere at Old Trafford, make it a fortress. As regards the rats in the building, and the Glazers and the Wilcoxes, et cetera, we have to hit them where it hurts. Hit them where it hurts. Not protest every 4 games. Protest every single game. Stop people getting into the mega store. See a match day, thousands of people. The amount of money going. Stop it. Barricade it. Do anything. We have to start hitting them where it hurts. People stop buying their tops. Stop buying the merchandise. And start giving out to the sponsors like was done before. That's the only thing they understand.
I hope that's not an official top you're wearing. I hope that's not an official top you're wearing. I hope that's.
I think it is.
Finest.
Of course, it's not. I have to.
I think you bought that from the mega store yourself. Actually.
Excuse me, no.
I have to admit that this is probably the first official merch I've bought off United in 15 years. But anyway, listen, don't maybe not air that out there. Like. But anyway, okay. Let me see who I've got. Where's my list here? Michael, we'll go to you.
Yeah, I think no matter what team kind of steps on the pitch or like who they are, the fans are going to get behind the team. And you've heard the supporter of Old Trafford, no matter where they go in any ground, the fans will get 100% behind the team. But when it comes to the ownership kind of structure, the club, you've got to do something. Remember a game, was it the Liverpool game, where they went up the road and they tried to stop the bus getting down the road and kind of things like that? I think that's it. You've got to make a statement, because if you do things like that, you're going to be on Sky Sports News, no matter what they think. Like if they think, no, we're not actually going to show that. If a bus shows up an hour and a half late to the ground, there's going to be a delayed kickoff. So you can't stop that, and you can't stop the word getting out. Why was there delay in the kickoff? Thousands of fans outside the ground. They won't let the bus through. They won't let them through. And I think if you do something as serious as that, wherever you barricade the kind of supporter store and things like that, that's the only way you're going to get onto Sky Sports, is to stop the bus getting into the ground. But 3,000 people in front of a bus, done.
Okay.
It happened before, didn't it? It did happen before. Was it the Liverpool game?
Yeah.
Stormed the pitch.
I like that. I can see that tagline in this video. Stop the bus.
Yeah.
Stop the bus.
Stop the damn bus.
I can see a tagline actually now, like Irish fans planning protests.
Irish fan hanging out to the back of the bus. Get him off! Get him off!
Killian,
I can no longer get into England because of this podcast. Thanks, guys.
Well, I mean, just the same in general. I mean, they do the protests usually. I think that's the United Way. I think that's what you call the walk to Old Trafford. I like those protests to happen every now and again. So keep at that, of course. But I mean, as you said earlier, you have to hit them where it hurts, and that's where they earn money, especially the mega store. Maybe barricading that off for supporters to go in. I mean, no stuff or no profits coming in from selling merch and stuff. That could definitely help. And as well as that, then hitting the sponsors where it hurts too. Stopping investing in some of the sponsors too, definitely for me would be effective. However, the unfortunate reality is this probably won't happen, because even at your best efforts, it won't be prolonged, unfortunately, and there will always be loads of people who will go in the megastore nonetheless. So it's good an idea, but is it realistic? I'm not too sure.
Do you know what? I actually think it's a really good idea.
Yeah. Start with.
I think it's a very achievable idea.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it really would hurt them.
There's only about 3 doors into that place.
It really, really would hurt them. Like so.
I don't know. We'd have to look at how much money in the grand scheme of what the club brings in a year is made in the mega store, and I think it's very small.
And
I also
is unreal.
It might be more hitting the sponsors. Do you know what I mean? Like through building protests, because it's the sponsors see the bad news around United.
How much
stopped.
are we really going to affect Adidas? You know,
Do you know what?
They
Do you
have
know what?
every club in the
Well, that
world.
deal was for 10 years, so it's done.
But you know what,
Yeah,
Jeff?
so-
Like you see, they would it would be substantial enough money if the mega store was blocked off, and they only have a certain amount of games now. Because they're not in these
Right,
competitions,
the
they're
mega
only
st-
getting a certain amount. It would be substantial amount of money. It
the
really
mega
because
store is open 365. Well,
But
yeah, but the number of
days
people.
There's 30
are-
games.
Find the figures online somewhere how much money they actually do bring in. But plus
Yeah.
the amount of money that they cost, they charge for a jersey, like 100. It's so expensive in there. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like,
But how
Yeah.
it's
long till the
robbery.
police show up and start arresting the people blocking the mega store door?
Well,
Yeah.
we don't have ice over here at the
In-
moment, so
in-
we'll be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to keep looking out my window.
Who
getting
have we
much
got up
rugby.
next here? Jeff, you're up next. Actually, have you had
No,
to go? No, you haven't.
it's
You are
tough.
next.
It's tough, and we have very similar situations here with our baseball team here in Pittsburgh. Once proud organization, now the owners just don't give a shit just about winning it all. And people talk about let's boycott, let's do this. There's no right answer. We talked about it, before we started the podcast. If you stop going to games, somebody's going to 5 people are going to line up to take your ticket.
Yeah.
So you're never not going to have a packed Old Trafford. So boycotts are going to work. And if you're a ticket payer and you decide, hey, we're going to boycott the game Saturday, your ticket's already paid for. They don't give a shit if you sit in it. The money's already made. There really is no answer. Newcastle managed to get Ashley out somehow, and I think it was kind of his own willingness. I don't see the Glazers walking away that easily.
Yeah, should have never had the stadium anyway. So
Yeah.
Sure, it's a
can't prove them
gravy
all.
train. It is a gravy train for them.
Yeah.
It's a great
Okay.
job.
Yeah,
They're making money.
Killian,
I've gone.
you've gone. Yeah. How did I? Okay. I went to you straight after Gags, did I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we got Darren. You're up.
Yeah, look, you need to keep processing. I'd like that. How effective can it be to actually truly stop them? But you just got to keep your voice being heard. Be that booing. I know some clubs have been doing kind of late walk-ins, coming in after like 19, 20 minutes, so the cameras can see the empty seats. But it's Old Trafford. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many fans are at that stadium who are kind of more tourists than actual fans who are just going there just to watch to say they've seen Manchester United? You need to keep going, protest somehow or another, and just even like I know some kind of people bomb the sponsor sites through bad reviews and such like that just to try and drive down stock price and things like that. Do you know what I mean? I don't think you will ever get rid of the Glazers as long as they keep making money. This is a cash cow. That's all Man United is to them. But you got to keep your voice being heard, because if you just accept it, God knows what to do, because they'll just try and bring that back in Euro Super League in against it. They will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. David, you're
Yeah,
up.
no, yeah, just pretty much what everyone says. There's only 2 things we're going to stop them: is stop the mega stove, blocking the mega stove, and somehow we stop the way us going against the ground and stop the delaying of the games. We maybe do what Sheffield Wednesday fans done at the start during the season and protest outside, stay outside the ground until 15, 20 minutes of the game, and that's the only way we're going to stop them. I know it's like everyone else says, if you don't turn up and they're going to threaten you or your season ticket will be revoked, and other people are going to take them up. So that's the way it's going to happen with them. So we have to find out another way. I'm going over to the Fulham game in February, so I'm going to be at that protest anyway. I'm going to have my voice heard anyway. I'm going to be loud and fucking proud anyway doing it. So
Yeah,
to stop
copy
them
that.
all. So
Fair play.
Fair play. I mean, I think that's a good point, and I think that, people spend a lot of money going to games, so I do think that it's not right either that you should have to miss the game. But you could go, if you were even traveling over the game, you could stand outside and you could walk in a march and you could stand outside and stop people getting into the store, just linking arms or just sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
Peaceful protest, just sit on the ground, don't cause any trouble, and and make it a stay. Small little things like, but let's not maybe.
I mean, I think another thing, so I mentioned like our baseball team here in Pittsburgh. I used to go to 30 to 40 baseball games a summer, which is half the season. And then, I just got to the point, we had some issues with our ticket holder group. I wouldn't go, but now my lad's 11 and he wants to go to baseball games. And I'm not going to take that part of his childhood away from him just because I took a stand against the ownership. And I think a lot of people who are taking their lads to games in Manchester are going to have the same view. Like growing up, going to Old Trafford, that's part of being a Manc, and they're not going to, no, son, you can't go until the Glazers are gone. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So listen, that's our 4 questions around the horn done. So this is just open time now, really, on anything else anybody else wants to bring up.
What do we feel? What's our honest opinion on score prediction for the Derby?
Yeah, we've given ours already in the previous
Well,
podcast.
It wouldn't surprise me if United went out and won kind of 3-2.
Wouldn't surprise me.
3-2. But I am expecting a decency, but I don't think United will roll over again. I think it'll be, they're going to want to prove something, and these, like, the players have to step up at some stage. They can't go through the whole season walking around the pitch and passing the football. They have to step up. They have to make it. Is it coaching? Are they physically able to run that 9? But they're going to have to do it at some stage, and they may as well do it against City.
Yeah, I don't know how confident I am. I just, I don't trust them. Do you know what I mean? I just don't trust that team whatsoever. So they could easily win because, plus I think that team is afraid of playing at Old Trafford. I think they're terrified of the place. I think away teams are more comfortable at Old Trafford these days than we are.
Yeah, it's almost like that type of game where you could see United win. Michael Carrick, United legend, first game, Old Trafford, Manchester Derby. And we have beaten City at home in the past too. So it's not impossible. And in fact, I would even go as far as to say it is possible. But I mean, just looking how good City have been recently, for me, they're going to win the league, City. So it's a hard task, but it's not impossible. So here's hoping anyway.
Yeah. I thought you were going back on your prediction for a couple of days.
Yeah. Well,
no, I do think it's possible we go out and win the game. City, I agree. City's going to win the league this year, but I don't think they're infallible this year. I think we can be
proven. Yeah.
Well, Man City are missing a good few defenders, and the boys are back in Boom and Ahmed, so it's as good a chance as any to get at them.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's no reason why we can't go and beat them. If we get the front 4 going, whoever the front 4 is, Bruno and Remo and
will Ahmad be back for this game?
Yeah, they're back fine.
Yeah.
Ahmad will be back.
I wouldn't think so. Sure. What is it? It's Thursday.
I think they are.
No, they were training.
But it's Saturday.
They went out. A good few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, did they?
Oh, it was
They're back
berries in the fire.
The pictures of them. I don't know if it's
they were training.
Last weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah, they
might have been. Yeah, I think you're right. It was last weekend.
Well, the press conference in the morning, anyway, so we'll find out if they're playing.
But you need to manage the load and all. They might be allowed to play 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, you won't
hang on for 20 minutes.
What's he, 22?
One game a week.
When I was 22, I'd drink all night and go play football for 9
Yeah,
years.
Tom.
What were we going to say there?
No, my annoyance is the absence of Delit and the fact that the club are not telling us why he's out for so long. It's just
weird. They said we always thought he was going to be back in a week. Him and McGuire.
Yeah.
And this has gone on nearly 6 weeks. It's gone on weeks and we've no idea what's going on.
Delit?
Yeah.
I think it's a bit more serious than they were.
But that's the fact
That
that why
they're
do you
saying
just tell us he's out for 6 weeks? Right, fair enough.
Yeah.
But do you know what? That's very American sports. So, like, because I'm big into ice hockey, and it's very players get injured, and you see them getting hit, and you see that they're going off, they're holding their shoulder, or broke. You can see they've broke their arm or something, and it's always like he's out with an upper body injury, and it's just like. Just say he broke his arm, but it is very American, and I think that's kind of coming into the
ice hockey's a different beast though. Those guys will play, there's guys that played on broken legs.
Absolutely.
It's a different beast. You can't compare them to anybody else.
Yeah, but I just mean that culture seems to be there in Old Trafford, or
Yeah, it's like trying to bluff or something like that. Like they don't care. Just tell us where he is. Like
the bluff is the bluff should work. that you say he's out for 6 weeks, and then it's like,
Yeah,
surprise,
the
he's
other way,
back.
yeah.
Not the wrong way around.
Yeah.
He's
That's
back
the
in a
Alex.
week.
That's the Alex Ferguson style of injuries. Oh, he's gone. He's dead. He's
Yeah.
dead. And then he pulled on a jersey in the dressing room 4 weeks time.
Surprise.
Push him off the pitch.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Well, yeah, no, that's well, guys, how have you found this here tonight? What's the
Yeah,
thoughts?
that was good. Yeah,
Very
bit
good.
of crack.
Yeah,
Yeah, bit of crack game.
Crack.
So good you're
Um,
talking about United. Not only break your heart and all that, but still you can't
I
help
know
yourself.
it is. Like it is. Honestly, whenever the boys were saying about having one tonight, I really was against it. Like until when was it this morning? I just said, "Well, might as well do it."
Well, I think
We're
we
kind
had
of
it sort of planned.
yeah.
and
Well, it is. It's good to talk. It's good to get other thought people on, and
big time.
no, it's really really good, and I think it's something that you know.
Actually, what I was going to say was, in the absence of Dak, the Kerry man, stroke Waterford man, he probably wouldn't be too keen on us tackling these sponsors, since he seems to be
I
winning
know.
all his tickets from them. So
Yeah.
I would imagine if he was
absolutely.
here, I don't want to put words in his
Some
mouth,
dodgy
but I
going
think he
on
was
there.
saying,
There's
Listen,
definitely something Secret Service about Dak. Like there was far too many things coincidence. Like
I'll have to get
I
that
bet you he's
picture,
related. I bet he's related to the Glazers or something. He's gonna. I mean,
the Glazers, I would look them up. They've got some sort of Irish heritage in Waterford.
I'm gonna call him when we're done. You're a fucking glazer, aren't you?
who gets a match ball that's kicked at him by Ronaldo? There's definitely
I know.
something going on there.
I know.
It's
I know.
Glazer.
Probably robbed it off some kid in the stadium or something like that.
Well, you know, if I think of Michael Carrick, you know, I'd go in and say, lads, listen to this man here speaking. This is what we got to do here at Man United.
Manchester United was always about adventurous football, giving young players a chance. That's what Matt Busby started when in 1949, 1950. He brought in young players, which was unheard of. 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds, and he was playing them in the hotbed of the first division. You know, and it was people couldn't understand it. But it became what Manchester United was famous for: giving young players a chance, playing adventurous football, being aggressive. Don't be afraid. Go for it. And if you're a man that works on an ordinary shop floor, and your one highlight of your whole week is to go and see a football club play, Matt Busby always said it should. When these lads come to watch you play, you should give them something that they can't do themselves, something exciting, something adventurous. You know, nothing mundane, nothing boring. So Manchester United has never played defensive football. It's always played attacking, adventurous football. It's always had the type of players that were expressive, and young players especially always got their opportunity here. And that was the case with Matt Busby, and it's the case with Alex Ferguson, and it continues. Manchester United just keeps growing and just keeps growing, and it will continue to grow because there's nothing like it. It's a phenomenon, a cult in a way. You know, people don't become Manchester United was always about adventurous football, giving young players a chance.
Oh. Maybe not show that exact version. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping to see.
Yeah.
Hoping adventurous football. I don't think it's going to come, but I'm hoping. You can always hope.
Yeah.
But listen, guys.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I think I don't think anyone has a crystal ball, and I don't think we can say that Carrick's not going to do the job. He could come in and do a fantastic job. He really could. And I, for one, wouldn't turn around and say, no, well, don't give him the job because Enrique is free. If he came in, he did a fantastic job. He played some great football. Why wouldn't he be in the mix, I think?
Exactly.
Yeah.
100%, yeah.
Well,
So
Over to you, Michael.
yeah, that's it. I see there's
Entertain us.
early start on Saturday as well. So
yeah.
our weekend will either be made or destroyed, or good and early this weekend.
Yeah,
so.
they just need to
Fingers
ruin it
crossed.
nice and early. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, guys. Listen, thank you so much for coming on today. I really enjoyed it. This is going to get this put up tonight. It'll be on tomorrow morning on YouTube and on Spotify. And listen, we'll keep you in the group, and hopefully you guys will come on again, and
Yeah, brilliant.
we'll see if we can grow this channel. It's nice to get Irish Reds together, and yeah, I think we like I said, we're 3 months into this, and who knows where maybe we'll end up. Maybe we'll end up doing a live podcast outside the store protesting.
Yeah,
Power to the Irish Red Devils.
wearing all their fake jerseys.
Oh no.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Okay, lads.
Cheers.
Brilliant.
Cheers, lads.
Thanks, lads. Bye-bye.